Hello, my name is Molly White. I am a former Texas State Representative, and I have been coming to the UNCSW since 2004. I've missed the last 5 years, so I'm back here again in 2018.
Thanks, Molly. I was going to ask you that to start with, but that's okay. You jumped the gun. It's all right. It's okay. So we met about
In 2004.
2004.
My
That's
first
14
UNCSW.
years ago.
And I came as a volunteer to work for CFAM during the CSW. And that's when we met.
And you felt a little bit intimidated then?
Oh, yeah.
So did I, but not after that.
Yeah,
You sort of get used to it, don't you?
You do, and one thing I really loved is meeting women from all over the world, and
men,
of course. I met you, and you're the one that opened all these doors for us. But you know what struck me, Peter, as I came here is I saw that women had needs, and they were representing the needs of the women of their countries.
Yeah.
All the solutions they were getting from CSW was abortion, birth control. That was the answers to everything. We need clean water. We have water issues. Well, we had abortion and birth control. Well, we need education. Well, we had abortion and birth control. And I told the Lord at that time, I said, if you send me back with an army of women, I'll come back every year.
Because you just started by yourself, and then I remember you being sort of 60 women sometimes.
Yes, I think the largest group that I brought was 45 women from all over the world.
Right,
and most of us had abortions and had been gone through that healing experience. And the other women had pro-life organizations.
And some had been conceived through rape.
Yes, we brought a team of women that were men that were conceived in rape and incest, and their testimonies were so powerful. So that's what we did.
Did Rebecca Kissling come with you?
Yes, I brought her the very first time. And then I also brought Reggie Littlejohn.
Oh, yes.
Remember meeting Reggie?
Yes.
And so she's been coming back every year.
And I believe you're a congresswoman a little while ago in Texas.
Yeah,
Share a little bit about that.
Well, I have been a pro-life activist for 17 years, since 2001.
Yeah.
And so I belong to an organization called Operation Outcry, which is women who've been hurt by abortion. And we use a legal affidavit or declaration of our testimonies to help pass pro-life laws in various states. And my personal testimony has been to the U.S. Supreme Court 4 times to uphold pro-life laws. And so I was their spokesperson and traveled around the country and then started coming to CSW. I got invitations to go around the world. And then about 4 years ago, I just really felt God calling me to run for state representative. And I had no desire to serve in politics. I was a grassroots activist, And I obeyed. I said, okay, Lord, it's against all odds. I was going against a 3-term incumbent. He had all the establishment money behind him. And I had just me and...
You and the Lord.
Me and the Lord. And friends who believed in me.
It's a majority.
Amen. Amen. One can put 1,000 to flight, 10 can put 10,000 to flight. So, but I worked really hard, went door to door talking to people, and I spent about $26,000. Now this is a position that pays $17,000 a year. So it's not a big money making position. It's not about money making. It's about representing your community. But anyway, I spent about $26,000. My opponent spent $250-something thousand, and I clearly beat him. It was unbelievable. It was a miracle. All kinds of obstacles, but I kept my eyes on the Lord. I kept my eyes on the goal that lied ahead of me, and so I was very honored to be able to serve the people in my district.
You got a pretty rough time.
I had a rough time. I'm kind of opinionated.
I noticed that.
My opinion is
Lord
based
was like
on,
that too.
Yes. Well, and it's based on biblical truth. Once you know the truth will make you free.
And you don't want to just be quiet, do you?
No. I know. If I know the truth, I'm going to speak the truth.
Amen.
If I see injustice, I'm going to fight for justice. And so when I was in office, well, let me back up a little bit. The God's opened up so many doors for me, and you've been part of the door opener. And what I've learned that when I walk through those doors, even though I may not know what's on the other side, maybe I don't feel like I'm qualified.
Lord qualifies you.
Right.
Remember when they had John and Peter before the Sanhedrin, they said, these unlearned men, and then someone said they had been with Jesus 3 years. That was the only qualification.
Amen. And
It's
I've
enough.
been with Jesus for
How long have you
years
been with
before
Jesus?
that.
Long time.
Yeah, about, I'm 60, and I haven't always walked with the Lord. I mean,
When did you get saved?
about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
26, 7, I'll say 27 years ago. My daughter's 25. That
But you've been
helps me.
walking with the Lord since then.
Right.
Yeah. In obedience as
And
much
then,
as you
yeah,
can.
in 2001 is when he called me. I just
Yeah.
graduated from college. My sons graduated from high school. I graduated from college.
Yeah.
And I was reading Proverbs, making a habit to start reading the Bible again.
Good. Yeah.
And so I read Proverbs all through Proverbs in June, and in July I read through Proverbs again, and on July 24th I read Proverbs 11. It says, rescue those being led away to death, hold back those staggering towards slaughter. I knew, Peter, at that moment I felt this crushing weight, and I knew that God had just called me.
Had to do something about it.
And because it was my testimony of abortions as a young woman,
yeah.
and how that led me to a life of self-destruction until God
He
came in,
intervened.
saved, delivered, and healed me.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I walk through those open doors, unknowing what's on the other side, a lot of times I have 3 objectives. I'm always going to advance the kingdom of God.
Yep.
I'm going to witness, I'm going to declare, I'm going to pray for people, I'm going to defend the biblical worldview, because that's the only view that brings life, liberty, freedom, prosperity, equality.
Yes.
And then I'm going to learn and grow and just use my past experiences to do the best I can through that opportunity.
So what's the Lord led you to do now? We've got to go soon because we're starting a meeting.
Well, I had an incredible opportunity to, of course, come back to the CSW, and I was asked to speak at a side event. It was on Tuesday with Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann.
It's good.
And
Good meeting.
it was empowering.
Very powerful.
We'll see the stories of women's journeys to leadership. Personal stories too. And it was all about God. We talked about all of our experience, but we went to our backstory. And our backstory was how, against all odds, we should have never been here, but with God.
But the Lord found you.
Yeah, but with God. And so we really encouraged a lot of women. It was a wonderful event.
Yeah.
And it was packed house, and it was very well received. And
Excellent.
so we'll have another side event this afternoon, talking
Very cool.
about the health risks of abortion, breast cancer risk,
I've
and more
got
testimonies.
those big box of flyers for
Oh
you
yeah,
there.
good.
So
And we've
they're
got a
yours
place
now.
to put them.
Yeah, they're
we've got a
yours
place.
now, okay?
Thank you. You always bring great information.
So, any final thing?
Well, you need to get out there. We need more believers fighting
Absolutely.
for life.
Yep.
More
Speaking
believers
up.
praying for us.
Yes.
More believers supporting us financially. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
make money
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah,
It costs a lot of money to do
It
this.
does, yeah.
And just need your prayers.
Okay. That's great. Lord, we just commit CSW to you now, Lord. The second last day, we pray that there would be a good document.
Yes.
If there isn't a good document, Lord, that we pray there'd be none. So we commit this to you, Lord, and pray that we know that you do all things well. We just commit ourselves into your hands in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to add, bind up the plans of the wicked, Lord.
Amen.
Bind up the plans of the wicked.
Amen.